Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your girl V, and welcome to another episode of Mindful Unfoldings. Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your girl V, and welcome to another episode of Mindful Unfoldings. It's a new week, it's a new guest, it's a new month. We're in the month of June, and it's Men's Mental Health Month. So I just want to welcome everyone, every man watching this, every young boy watching this, and we hope that you're taking care of your mental health. More specifically, you are speaking about your mental health, and that's our mission for this month, that we may have more men to come and give us very insightful perspectives on why they don't speak up more like women do, because we all know that the suicide rate for men is very high compared to women. But before we even speak on that, and I think as we journey through June, you will see more men coming to speak about their mental health and the things that they struggle with. And I'm excited for this month because I'm a very big on mental health and helping people, helping men, helping women, helping young boys, etc. So yes, happy Men's Mental Health Month. I know it sounds crazy to say happy, but happy Men's Mental Health Month, because we're fixing everyone's mind one man at a time, one episode at a time. So yeah. Today's episode, I'm excited. We have an author. I don't want to introduce, I told myself I'm going to stop introducing them the way I want to introduce them. I'm going to let them take space into how they want to be introduced. But his name is Emmanuel Sithole. And welcome to Mindful Unfoldings.
Thank you for having me.
And take it away. Tell us who you are, what you do, how you do it.
Okay. Well, that's a nice way to let me start. My
Yes.
name is Emmanuel Sithole. I'm an author of 7 books, included the current book that I published right before the 30 years calf. I was born in Pretoria, Mabopane, in the year 2003.
Wait, what?
Yes.
2003.
Yes.
What?
Yes, I am that
Okay.
young actually.
Yeah.
I'm also an entrepreneur. I have 3 companies. I run a tuition company. I also have a publishing company and also a media marketing company.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Apart from that, I'm a professional keynote speaker and also a mentor for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me, in simple terms, it's quite difficult when they say introduce yourself, because normally I think of the characteristics. But in simple
Yes.
terms, I'm a very calm person, genuine, and I wouldn't say loving, because people define love in different terms. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't know, and respectful enough. So that's Simon Sithole for you.
I am so shocked that you were born in 2003. That means you're 22.
22 this year, yes. I
Oh my
just turned 22.
gosh. When did you turn 22?
26th of March.
Oh, happy belated birthday. I
Thank you
hope you
very
had a
much.
nice
Thank you very much.
day. Oh my gosh, and you're so mature. I would have thought like you're 26, 27. You're
No.
very mature and you're so reserved. Have you always been like that?
Yes, always been like this.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So let's get into it. You were so well established for someone your age.
Yes.
How did you get into writing books? And you said you have 7 books.
Yes.
And all the companies that you have. How did you then venture into those spaces?
Well, I will start by saying it is a matter of my own experience. I don't come from a very well-established family. So my own experience growing up, from mental struggle, emotional struggle, financial struggle, did really push me to try and get myself to be stable by myself. So it all had to do with me wanting a better life, not wanting to live the same cycle over and over again.
Yeah.
So I will start with writing per se. So writing for me at the beginning, it was never about wanting to be an author. It was about me escaping certain things that were in my head. So I'm someone who's well reserved. I love being by myself, and I prefer my own space. So I never grew up around a lot of friends or even around a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I'd always have a conversation with a paper. So that's how it all started.
Yeah.
I'll write my emotions down, my thoughts down, and everything. And then only to find out that actually whatever I was writing was making sense, and it was resonating with a lot of people outside my own space. So I just figured, well, it will be better for me to just let other people read it as well, let other people understand what I understand.
Yeah.
So that's how writing came about.
Yeah.
And then being an entrepreneur, I grew up in a family where business was a thing.
Yeah.
Not big business, but like small business.
Yeah.
So for me, I took every business idea and then scaled it up. Make it
Yes.
big as
Yes.
much as I can. So that's how I got into writing and also entrepreneurship.
Right.
Yes.
So, you said your relationship with writing came with your relationship with the paper, and you always wrote your feelings down. Is there a
Yes.
specific reason why you did that? Was it an experience?
Yeah. Well, how can I put this? It is a thing, that when I meet people, they look at me and they go, "You're very weird," you know. And that weirdness is a matter of it will result in people not building certain relationships with you. So I'll feel excluded, from my community member, my family members, and even certain people that I'll date. They'll make me feel as if like I do not relate or they can't correlate with me in any way. So it will obviously bring around sadness and sometimes depression, sometimes loneliness. So that resulted in me just putting everything on paper.
Yeah.
Whatever feeling that I had, how I felt about someone, how I felt about myself, or a certain situation itself, I would just put it down. And then
Yeah.
it will just make me feel better.
Yeah.
So it was more of like a diary, if you want to put it that way.
Yes.
Yes.
I like that. I like that. Because I actually resonate with what you said because I also like journaling. Like
Yes.
whatever I'm feeling, whether I'm happy, whether I'm sad, whether I'm frustrating, I like writing it down. Not because I don't trust to speak to other people, but I think it's just better. And I feel like I'm more vulnerable and open. Like there's no one to judge but me speaking to myself or writing what I feel down. I don't think I'll write a book anytime soon. It was a lot of
Well,
admin.
a book is more spiritual. Yeah, I
Yes.
always tell people that we are all writers in a way, but when it comes to writing a book that will be read by people, that thing is spiritual.
Yeah.
You need to be able to connect with people and the universe in a very different level of frequency so that you'll be able to write things that can correlate, and can adjust people in a certain way and
Yeah.
help them in a certain way.
Yeah.
Writing a friend or a companion for people is
Yeah.
more spiritual.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with profession.
Yeah.
So it's more like
I
that.
like that. So then let's talk about the 7 books that you wrote. Do you mind naming them for us before we get to your latest one, of course?
Okay. Well, please bear in mind that some of them I wrote them when I was very young.
Yeah.
It was my first book that I published. I was 14. So it was a book of sonnets, and I was very good in sonnets poetry.
Yeah.
And then I wrote Famous Secret, and then I wrote The Dawn, and then I wrote, what's another one? Oh, The Edge of Us. I wrote my A+ guide, and then obviously right before the 30 Years Curve.
Yeah.
And also another one, Dreams and Flowers, also is a poetry book.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the 7 books that I've written so far.
Lovely. So I'm going to speak about your latest one, of course.
Okay.
Because that's the one that brought us here. I've been seeing your clubs actually before you DM'd asking to come. I've been seeing your clubs and I was like, very interesting. Hence, I'm so shocked when you say you're only 22 because you have so much insight and a lot of perspective on different things that you've spoken about, obviously, that you've drawn from your book.
Yes.
Tell us about the right before 30 curve.
Yes.
What made you name the book what you named it for a 22-year-old who's very far from the tea?
Well, he by age he is, but by mentality he's far from that.
I love that.
Yeah,
I
one
love
one
that.
of my mentors said, "You are a 50-year-old man stuck in a 22-year-old body," and it makes sense because a lot of my friends are people who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Yes.
So I love having conversations with them. Conversations that build people, build mentality, build emotions, build thoughts.
Yeah.
So while I was having these conversations with them, they would say a lot of things about life after 30. Because remember, in the first 20 years of our lives, we find ourselves in a space where we are building habits, belief systems, customs that serve as a foundation or a blueprint for us to continue the next decades of our lives. So if you find yourself in those 20 years not building the right system for yourself, you'll find yourself looping over and over again around the same habits, same belief systems, of which they are not working for you. So me writing this book, it was a matter of all the conversations that I had with different people and also my own experience.
Yeah.
To say you're in your 20s or you are a teenager, you are trying to move forward, or you're trying to progress or accomplish certain things. You need to understand that one of the reasons why you're not moving forward, it might be because of a certain mindset or a belief system or even a habit that you have. And the only way to break it is right before the 30 years curve book. It guides you, it helps you to break down, to debunk, and learn things that are no longer serving you well. And also, people who are in their 30s as well, there are people who still do things that they were taught 30 years back or probably 20 years back. And those things, they no longer serve them well. So the only way they will be able to move forward or even progress is by them unlearning or debunking whatever that is not working for them.
Yeah.
So the right before the 30 years curve is basically a new system for you to learn something that might move you from point A to point B of your life. So that's the book actually.
Oh wow, I like that. And I'm very interested in getting into your different chapters. What's one chapter that you would say meant the most to you because of how you've realized that's the common gap or the common struggle individuals share, male and female?
Well, it's I think for me it will be there's two, but I'll just take
You
one.
can do both, it's fine.
Okay, the first one is obviously the first 20 years of our lives. That's the first chapter actually,
Yeah.
because that's the foundation.
Yeah.
As I said or as I've mentioned that those first 20 years of your life, they're very important. They play a very pivotal role in whatever individual you want to be. Hence you find people who are in their late 20s or even middle 20s, they are successful in a way that you can't even fathom. The reason why is because they were taught things about themselves at a very young age. They were given a mindset that allows them to be winners, even in times of them feeling like victims. They rise above their feelings, they rise above their thoughts, they rise above everything else just to be better people.
Yeah.
Because for those years of which they were being trained, they were being given tools and metals, and strategies that will move them in a way that we cannot even imagine. So that chapter for me is one that helps a lot of people, to understand that, okay, fine, I'm a 20-year-old, right? I'm 20 and looking at my life and where I want to go. What is it that will help me at the moment about me? What habit am I doing right now that will help me move forward or that will keep me in the very same space right now? That's another one. Because another thing is the habits that we practice each and every day, either macro or micro, they play a very important role as well. How you spend your money, how you talk to people, what you do when you wake up, your morning routine, your daily routine, your night routine, all those things, they are very important because at the end of the day, they move you to a certain point. Hence, when I have a conversation with people who want to understand how to move their life, the first question will be, did you make your bed today? That's the first habit. When you wake up, you do your bed. It shows that you're organized, right? And then you move to taking a bath or maybe brushing your teeth. It shows that you're organized. And then from there, you move doing certain tasks throughout the entire day. It shows that you're an organized person. So different habits give you different characteristics about a person. So those two chapters for me, they're just an absolute read. They're so perfect. They're amazing.
So for you to get to where you are now, in as much as you're only 22 but you're beyond your age, what are the experiences that forced you to grow? Because you didn't just get here
Yes, I did.
and you didn't just get to writing the things that you're writing about. You obviously had to live out certain things. So what are the things, the challenges that you faced? Especially because you're still very young, but you also, like you said, you're successful in what you do and the things that you've accomplished at such a young age, because there's a stigma around, oh, I'm 20, I just need to live life. It doesn't matter. I have a lot of years ahead of me. So before you got to your level of maturity, what were your experiences? What did you go through that forced you to then say, there's habits that I need to change within myself and my routine that will help me become a better person?
Oof, well, well, let me just say life hasn't been nice, you know. As I said, that I come from a family that is not really well financially, and I was raised by my grandmother and my grandfather. You know, so I come from a very big family where I'm surrounded by cousins and relatives. You know,
Yeah.
so I myself didn't have a mom and a dad around me.
Yeah.
You know, so some of the things were a hassle to get access to. You know, so I had to start understanding that, okay, fine, at some point I'm by myself on some things. Yes, you have relatives and family, they might help you there and there, but you need to understand that at the end of the day you are by yourself, because it is in the year 2019 where I became a full orphan, you know, where I lost my mother because my dad passed away a very long time ago. I don't even know him. So going through that emotional tantrum and mental tantrum and financial struggle made me realize that at the end of the day, I need to find myself in a position where I push myself, you know, I rely on myself, I count on myself. I train my mind, my emotions, and my finances to be so strong to a point where I do not even realize that I come from a very poor background. So for me, that was the motivation, that was the inspiration to say, you are a very big mind in an environment that doesn't understand you, and yet you don't have things that you want,
Yeah.
you know, and you don't have people that can give you access to that.
Yeah.
So you need to start building a character that will push you towards that.
Yeah.
You know, because I wasn't going to wait for anyone to come and drag me out of the misery that I was in and then show me the light. You know, I had to put some work, you know, so that I can get where I want to get. You know, so for me it was all that, you know, emotional instability, mental instability, financial instability. Those are the things that pushed me to be the best in my field. You know, so I've always thrived to say, I need to be good to a point where I don't even have an option to go back to who I was. So yeah, there are people who are in their 20s and who still want to play and say, this is my prime, I just want to experience things. But I never had that. You know, for me, it was a matter of you need to be better, you know, because there's no one who's going to come and save you.
Yeah.
So that was it for me.
Yeah. You speak about losing your mom, and I
Yes.
think then that's when the impact of emotional. Can you walk us through that process? Because maybe there's quite a number of people who have dreams and aspirations, but then they lose that source, it being their parent. And then you also speak about being an orphan, and I think that then draws to your characteristic and who you are as well as a person, because it's those experiences that helped you grow. So can you walk us through your emotional journey of losing your mom, being an orphan, and how you got out of that? I'm sure you had a depressive season within that because you lost what's familiar. So, can you walk us through that?
Um, whew, well, you know, I think there are some things I thought, you know, when you're sitting by yourself and go back in time and say, well, I think I'm okay talking about certain things. And then someone asks you a question, then you
And
find
you
out that,
realize you're not.
well, actually, I wasn't ready, but
Yeah.
it's not a problem for me because it's part of the healing journey. And I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
say I've fully healed. You know, it's impossible to just fully heal, especially in this period. So, losing my mom. So it was 2018 when I got to start building a relationship with my mom, because I never had it actually. You know, I started building an actual relationship with my mom to say, oh, this is my mom, she's around, I can call her, I can text her. And then I was doing grade 11, and then when I was writing my finals, 2019, she passed away, and it was so heartbreaking. Why? Because at first I just found this woman. I'm trying to build a relationship with her. You know, we barely know each other. You know, I don't know what she likes. She doesn't know what I like. You know, she doesn't know the kind of person that I am. You know, and I don't understand the kind of person that she is. And then when I lost her, I felt like life has robbed me an opportunity, you know, to have a mom. because I've always wanted that. I grew up around people who had a mom, said mom, mom, and when I got that opportunity, it was life changing, because I knew that I would have to count on her right now. But when she got sick and I was writing my finals and I had to take care of her and also my young brother, it brought back everything that I thought I healed from, you know, because I thought finally I have an opportunity to be taken care of. But now things have to change. I have to take care now, So it was very heartbreaking, and it really crushed me. I won't lie. They say as men we don't talk about emotions, but I think I had to, because I'm young, and I think I'm 16, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm trying to understand the world. I'm trying to understand myself. I'm a teenager. Teenagers can be chaotic, and I don't have that opportunity or that space to be me and actually expand and shrink and make mistakes. And I didn't have that. I had to be perfect so that I can be strong for my own young brother, and for her as well, because I don't think she was going to be better seeing me crash each and every day, So that's when my understanding of emotions came about.
Yeah.
To say you lose a certain part of you that you were longing to build a relationship with. And when you lose it, obviously you feel robbed, because there's no greater feeling or there's no painful experience than being robbed a soul. They can rob you anything. They can rob you your car, your house, your finances. But the minute they rob you a soul that you so longed to build a relationship with, it hurts more than anything. It's not something you can just heal from in a day. So that journey until now, it has been difficult. It has been tough because I meet people who have moms. I meet people who don't like their moms. I meet people who fight with their moms. And whenever I see that or hear that, the first thing that comes to my mind is, I wish my mom was here, so that she could see who I'm becoming, so that she could read my book, so that she can go with me wherever I want to go. And as much as she didn't understand me in a way, because it was too different from everyone,
Yeah.
from her, my young brother. But yeah, it has been a journey, and I think I've found ways, how to heal from it. And first is to detach myself from the pain, because there is pain. You need to. The first way of healing is for you to detach yourself and understand that eventually this is life, and there are things that happen outside your own control. And the minute you understand that, now you start to accept. That's the second phase. And after accepting, and then you start building new emotional attachments. It could be you can attach yourself. It's not a problem. So yeah, I can say losing my mom was. I don't know. It was an experience I can't even explain or put into words, and it did really contribute to a lot of things, And me becoming who I am, I think it was also a matter of not wanting to disappoint her, and become the best son she can ever have. So I tried to avoid a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of habits, so that I can live up to what she had wanted me to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, that has been the journey.
I commend you for not giving your pain too much control over your emotions. I think through life, something that I also had to actually learn is we give our pain a reason to live. So the minute you start feeling pain, you start defining it. You're saying, I'm feeling pain because I lost my mom. This person left me. This person did this person did that. And that's what makes healing a lot more difficult, because within you naming all of the things and the triggers that come with you naming all of those things, you're letting your pain attach to who you are. And you actually thought of the best way to do it, to detach yourself from it. And you then said, because this part of my life is no longer here, how do I exist without it while still honoring this part of my life?
That's true.
And I think it's a lot of things. A lot of men struggle. I think as compared to women, women, we have each other. We can talk to each other. Oh, girl, I feel like this. I feel this way about this. It's making me feel like this. And then we talk about it. Whether it's coming from a place of love, understanding, misunderstanding, the fact that we're talking amongst each other about it makes it, we can exist within that space. And it basically, we hold space for each other to heal. But with men, it's different. You guys, men's just not outrageous, okay?
It is
And
it
you
is
guys actually go
difficult.
through a lot because of the masculinity around being a man, not being able to be vulnerable. So when you
Yes.
lose someone like your mom, because I think a lot of, for us women, it's like, you know, they say daddy issues,
Yes,
but
yes.
we speak about it.
Yes, that's
But
true.
as men,
We
you don't
can't.
really speak about how the impact of losing your mom until it actually happens and you see it happen and the
Yeah,
mental toll that it
it
has.
is.
So when you took your steps of healing, which it wasn't linear, what was something that stood out to you about yourself that you then had to change within that cycle? Because when you're healing, it's like one day you're okay, one day you're not, one day you're regulating, one day you're not, one day you're angry, one day you realize, no, I misplaced my anger. So as a man, what were you doing different? Especially because you say you're around older guys, older men within their 30s, 40s who can walk life with you. But sometimes no one's there to save you. You need to save yourself. So then what then shifted your healing journey for you to coexist with that void that you have?
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I think I'm enjoying this because these are the questions I never had. Yeah, no
Really?
one really asked me these questions.
Yeah.
Um, what? Sorry about that.
That's okay.
What really stood out for me to coexist with the void? That's a very deep question, and I don't think I should answer it using my intelligence. I should answer it using what I feel because it's a void. Um, Okay, let me start by saying, so that I can walk my way through the answer
Yeah.
in the right manner. So, you're a man, right? Or let's say a young boy, because I wasn't a man yet. I was a young boy. You lose someone or something that you dearly loved or love, and then they leave a space within you that you can't imagine living without them. Obviously, you need to find ways of which you will continue or coexist with that pain? Well, I think I have one answer to that. I think for me, what stood out was the fact that I've always wanted to please her.
Mm.
I've always wanted to please my mom. So the only way for me to live with it is for me to do things that I know she would be proud of. You know, and it might have cost me certain issues, to be honest. This thing of wanting to please her, which is not a bad thing because it has pushed me to lengths which I don't think I would have reached if I didn't have that. But it has overlapped to other relationships as well. This thing of wanting to please her. So I think that was a disadvantage in a way because I'd find myself in spaces where if I meet a particular individual, either being a friend or a companion, I'd always try by all means to make it a point that they are just fine, even if it will cost me my peace, which was very expensive. So I think that that's what stood out the most, and I did change it. And the only way for me to change it was to understand that I do not have to live in the shadows of anyone anymore. I do not have to live on borrowed dreams. I don't have to live on borrowed expectations, which is what I was doing after she passed away. Because I was firstborn. Obviously, I wanted to leave a mark. So that's what stood out the most. But again, I'm glad that I found a way to deal with that. To not try and honor her in a wrong way. Because I don't think she wasn't a people pleaser, and she wouldn't want her son to be that. So these men that I had a lot of conversations with, they will try and kill that part in me, to say you are a young gentleman and you are your you're just your own person. You shouldn't try and live under anyone or try and please anyone, even if it has to be your late mom. She's already pleased by having you. You just have to be pleased by having you. So they really, yeah, they really did a number on me there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what stood out the most. And I really dealt with it. I really dealt with it. So
I love that because then you had a community of people who taught you individuality.
yes, they did. Not in a very what do you call this? Soft way.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, the
It's
men
tough
who
love.
surround me, they are very they're too masculine.
Yeah.
They're masculine guys, and me being me, they understood that he's a very young, fresh blood. Obviously, he's has this feminine side in him because mom and mom this, because that was the only person he had. But we need to shift that. We need to make him realize that at the end of the day, he's a man, and of course, he will have issues, mental, emotional, even financial or whatever the case may be in different aspects of life, also spiritual. But at the end of the day, he needs to come back and understand that he's a young man growing, and he just you have you, and that's all you need. So that's how I survived everything, and that's how I keep on surviving everything.
Yeah. Then let's talk about your spirituality. Are you a Christian?
Yes, I was born. I was born and raised in a Christian family.
Yeah.
Yeah, but something happened along the way.
Okay.
Well, this confuses a lot of people whenever I talk about it. But let me start off by saying I'm back. I'm a full time Christian now. And I'm not saying I'm a full time Christian because I read the Bible every day, go to church every Sunday. No, no, no. I was born in a Christian family and then I converted to Islam when I
Oh,
was doing
wow.
grade 3.
Okay.
Yes, and then I became a Muslim until grade 11. I think I was in a Muslim religion, and for starters, it wasn't really a bad idea. Let me start off by saying that,
Right.
because another thing is other things that I learned about myself, other habits and characteristics. I actually took them from the religion of Islam.
Okay.
For starters, how to be disciplined.
Yeah, because they are very disciplined
Very, very
people.
much disciplined. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no escape there. It's either you're disciplined or you're out. So I avoided a lot of things because of Islam. I come from a community in Mabopani, Winterfeld. I'm sure you might have heard about it. It's a very rough place. It's very too ghetto, and there are a lot of things
Too
that are
ghetto.
happening. It is okay. I'm not dashing. I come from that place. People from Winterfeld, please don't come
Yeah.
for me. I love you guys. You know that. But I'm saying I love it. I grew up there. I love the people there. But
Yeah.
some of the things that happened there, they are things that never aligned with me in a way.
Yeah.
Because I avoided drugs
Okay.
because of Islam. I avoided going to groove because of Islam.
Yeah.
There will be times where my friends will just go astray and say, no, let's try this and this and that.
Yeah.
And then because I was so naive and so invested in Islam, I'll just take out a verse and say, but Islam says we shouldn't do this and this and that. And that's how I would avoid it. And then also being an introvert as well, will just add on to it and say, no, you just stay at home. Whenever certain things are happening, you're just home. You're not going out there. So it really played a very huge role. And then times went by, and then I realized that there are certain things about me that do not go hand in hand with it. I'm not going to really say it's not working. When it comes to my character, I do apply it. But when it comes to my life and spirituality, I go full time Christian. And yeah, right now I'm building my relationship with God. I'm trying to understand how he operates in my life because he has done things for me that I still can't understand and I don't think I'll understand. And that's called grace.
Yeah.
And I'm still questioning and I'm still asking, I'm still learning, I'm still drafting. I'm still seeing into different points of my life where he's just doing things every day. Whereas this year, March, a lot of things happened to me. I think I will probably will have this conversation another time. But I was in a very, very dark place, to a point where if you were someone looking outside into my life, you would say, yeah, he's done. He's gone, because near death came by.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God. And lost a lot of things. I lost a lot of things, lost finances, lost people whom I called friends. I just lost everything, and in just a week, God turned my life and made me a better man in ways that I couldn't even imagine. A lot of people were saying, nah, couldn't I pet, or something. Only to find
Oh,
out
they
that,
like using those
yeah,
ones.
yeah, only to find out that God really came through for me.
Yeah.
He really came through for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, spirituality for me, I think God is working every day, and He's guiding me, He's teaching me, and I'm happy to be there.
Oh,
It's
I
a very
love
happy
that.
place.
I love that. And I'm sorry March was not a kind month to you, but you've lived to testify what the grace and the glory of God did to you.
Yeah,
And I always say grace is unmerited favor.
it is.
It is, we don't deserve it, but it's in the moment you don't feel it, but then once you're out of it, you realize that, oh, I did not deserve to be pulled out of that situation, but he does it because that's the grace, and that's the mercy that they speak about in the Bible. And I ask about your faith a lot because I see that you're very tunnel vision, like you're working on, I'd like to say you're working on purpose. And not to say with the things that you do, but with the intention of how you do them. So you speak about being in a dark place, you speak about the struggles that you faced, the near death experience, that you lost your mom, you're losing friends. I think a lot of times we don't know how to handle loss as Christians because we feel like we're doing our faith right. And then when things happen, when things are taken away from you, it's like, what did I do wrong here? What did I do?
Yeah.
I mean, to help you speak about that vulnerability. I'm also in that season where it's like, I know I was doing this right. So when this is over, why? You ask all of these questions. And there's either two responses. It's either you're going to be angry at God or you're just going to go closer to Him to try understand exactly what is happening. And most times you're not even trying to understand what is happening, but it's like you deepen your faith because you dig deep. Like you dig deep, whether you pray more or you cry more, whatever you do, you dig deep. So how did you dig deep within that week of the shift, that curve? No pun intended.
Pun intended, actually. I just saw that one coming. For me, I think the first thing that I did was to try and understand that I'm not in control.
Yeah.
Just when you go to God, it's very important for you to understand that you are not in control. Just lose that thing that I was doing right, I was doing this. That's not up to you to give that jury, that
Yeah.
final verdict. It's really not up to you. It's up to Him. And when I went to God, I said, listen, I'm in this situation. In my mind, I did everything right. In my mind. But in your hands, you just know where you want to place me. Because you need to understand that when God takes away something from you, He wants to give you something. It's more of like He's giving you a deal. You can't get everything at the very same time. So He did that, made me lose everything so that He can move me away or shift me away from certain environment or people so that He can give me something bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because another thing is I wouldn't be here with you right now if I didn't move from where I was. Trust me, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have published my book. I wouldn't have went back to being me, Emmanuel, if I didn't move from that. And I realized that I was stubborn. All throughout the years, I was just stubborn. I was just stubborn to move, and God decided to act on it. So when He acts on something and then He takes away something from you, you need to understand, okay, that's Him finally saying, okay, that's enough. I can't be having you here while I have a bigger purpose for you. So he moved me from those people or from that environment to say, I have something great for you. And I saw it unfolding, no pun intended. I saw it unfolding in a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
And in a matter of weeks, I published my book. I'm already moving from one book review to the other, one interview to the other. I'm already doing a lot of sales. And I'm going back to my space of being me. And I realized that, oh, so I wasn't going to do that if I was there.
Yes.
If that didn't happen, I wasn't going to have all this. So I had to
Yeah.
move. I had to transition. He was peeling off a certain skin and saying, I'm giving you a new skin so that you can be this new person and move to different heights. So you need to understand that whenever God drives you to a certain direction, do not question what is it that you did wrong. Just keep quiet, let him do his thing. You'll definitely land where you will be the most happiest.
Yes. I love that you said that. Don't question what he's doing. And you know what I'm learning? I'm always going to learn it. I feel like we're all going to learn it. How people treat you is never a reflection of who you are, but of who they are. And I've learned to understand that we are not on earth to serve our own purpose. We're on earth to serve, to help, and to serve other people's purposes, or to bring people to who they really are meant to be.
That's true.
Especially when you're a person, if you're saying you're gonna live according to the will of God, and you want to be a reflection of God's kingdom, then you have to understand that you're living beyond yourself. You're living beyond you being Emmanuel or me being V. I'm living beyond myself. So most times when you are trying, for example, with me, I'd like to believe with the platform that I have, there are certain things, like we had said, for me to be where I am today, to speak on the things that I speak on, to be able to meet certain individuals, to be able to experience certain things, I had to go through other things for me to sit here and speak on what I went through. Because then I'm coming from a place of I've been there and I know, or I trust I can help you navigate whatever you're navigating. So I'm coming to understand that most times how people treat me has nothing to do with me, especially when you know that you didn't do anything wrong. And I think that's what hinders a lot of people from growth and just learning and moving on to the next step. It's because you're avoiding the accountability of things. And you're never going to do it right if you're not going to sit down and be accountable for the role that you played within whatever is being taken away from you. And I have a lot of people reminding me that, oh no, it's not that you did anything wrong, but sometimes God is taking you away from that thing because maybe He wants you to help heal someone who might go through the same thing or who is going through the same thing. And it doesn't change the fact that it's still happening to you. It doesn't change the fact that it still hurts. Sometimes I really am sitting down, I'm like, really? Like, do you really want me to go this? Like, really? Like, can you cut the camera already? But it's like, oh no, you have to go through what I want you to go through because you are serving a greater purpose than yourself. And I feel like people and humans, we think about how it makes me feel, not how I can get out of it and possibly help the next person. It's funny enough, a friend of mine yesterday, I was having an episode yesterday. I was crying in my bed, and she was like, "You will know that you healed when you can actually start talking about it. When you can actually start talking about it and helping people out of it, you will know that you healed, and then that will then take you back to I see why that was necessary. Especially when you with like someone like us, you writing books, you have people looking for answers within your books. I have people looking for answers within my podcast. So how am I going to help those people if I'm not willing to go through that process and understand that people only treat you how they see themselves? And how you respond is literally going to be how you heal. If you respond with "I'm not good enough," or "I am the things that you're saying I am who you're saying I am the person that you're painting myself," then you're losing your identity, and now you're becoming what other people define you, and not who God calls you to be. not who God says you are, not who you know. I feel like everyone knows who they are, but you're letting other people define you. You're letting other people put that stigma on you because you crave validation from people who should only be like 10% of who you are. Because what other people throw on you should be what you take to build yourself. It should be a stepping stone, like a foundation, like you're building a step. So if you say I'm not good enough, oh, okay, sharp, I'm not good enough for you, but what am I saying about myself? What am I saying about my journey and who I'm becoming? Do you even know who you're becoming if you're going to let everyone define who you are and your character? So I think I'm saying what I'm saying because I'm hearing a lot of people want to, you turn your pain as into an direct angle to God and you get angry at the source, but it's like God sees before you. He saw before it happened. He knows the day you're gonna be successful. But how do you expect to get there if you're not willing to go through trials and tribulation? And actually, the previous episode we were speaking about being rooted, and if you want to live a purposeful life and meaningful life, a life where everything is unfolding in your favor and you're taking those steps to becoming who God has called you to be, you need to be able to stand within the storm. Whether it's hailing, whether it's sunny, whether it's a heat wave, cold front, whatever it is, you need to be able to stand and be like, whatever plan the Lord has for me, I shall see it through and I shall live to testify. But if you're gonna say, oh no, the Lord doesn't love me, I can't do this. I'm I'm saying this because I want people to start shifting their mentality. For you to be where you are, I heard in what you were saying, you shifted your mentality and you detached yourself from the pain. I also had to learn to detach myself from the pain sometimes and coexist with the things that I struggle with. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that it's happening, but don't build an altar for your pain. Like don't now say, I'm hurting and this is gonna be my identity. You're not defined by the things or the situations and how they make you feel. You're defined by how you pass through them. And I think that's where mental strength comes from. That's where community comes from. I mean, you said you have very masculine people who forced you to look at life from a different perspective. I have people who hold my hand and say, girl, this is how you're going to think about it, and this is how we're going to move. And they give me the space to still feel the things that I feel, but also know that my identity in Christ is here. And how other people treat that, it's literally not your fault. But if you know who you are in Christ, if you know what the Lord says about you, what people do, what experiences come your way, what life throws at you, won't really move you to an extent where you become angry at God, but it will make you even hungrier to understand what God is trying to teach you in that moment. And I like that that's what you did for yourself. And that's how you've built, you know, amongst your grief, amongst your trials and tribulations, your loss within friends. I think even the one with loss, like, people come and go, guys. People come and go. And it's an attachment. I know I have a very anxious attachment style. That's one thing I've realized. When people leave, it hurts. I feel abandoned, but I ask myself, why do I feel abandoned? And then you start realizing that, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that. But you broke away from that. You're making your sources, the people that you wanted to make happy on earth, happy by the things that you are doing. And that means you're becoming the person that God wants you to be because you've turned what was supposed to hurt you into something full of purpose. And I'm yapping now. One thing about me, when I start yapping about something, I won't stop. I
I'm
won't
actually,
stop.
I'm actually at the point where I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm just going to stop talking and listen to you.
No, because I'm saying that because, like I said in the beginning, it's Men's Mental Health Month,
Yeah.
and not even only about men, but just everyone in general. There are a lot of people out there struggling. There are a lot of people out there who have dreams but can't even get to those dreams because of their mental state, because they think they're incapable, because they think that they're not good enough, because they can't get into those rooms, because they don't have the connections. But it's like you have to shift your mental space. You have to understand that the only person standing in front of your dreams, the only person standing in front of your happiness is literally you. Until you can literally say, I'm going through this and I understand that I'm going through it. And you know what? I'm going to pray for the strength. for God to give me the strength to go through it while I'm still aspiring to be the person that I've become. That's why they say never attach your identity, your goals to a specific thing or person, because people come and go. People, as selfish as it is, people can wake up and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. That's something I'm also learning the hard way. But imagine if you attach your identity to that person or that thing, and then when it's gone, who are you? What are you doing? Were you even doing it for yourself or for the next person? And I want you to openly say to the people, Emmanuel, what is something that you are still learning about your mental state and your journey of becoming that you don't want people to miss, that you don't want people to forget about within their curve before 30? Because once you're 30, you're entering another dimension,
That's true.
another phase of life. But within your curve of 30, what are you doing and what is something that you want people to understand and know? And maybe we can both share if you want to be comfortable about it.
I don't have a problem. Should we start with you?
No, you're the guest. Guest first.
Oh, what is something that I'm learning about my mentality before I get into the new dimension of life? I think me is that my mind is too resilient, very very much resilient. I'm one person who does not bow to anything but God. But when it comes to the things of the world, I do not bow to problems. I do not give up because they say a certain door has been shut off. I do not give in because people say or think about me in a certain way. I do not sell my soul so that I could get validation. I'm not that person. So one thing I'm learning about me each and every day is that I'm too resilient. And when I want something, when I want to achieve something, by all means, I make it a point that I go there. Whether I have to go up the mountain, under the mountain, on sites, I always do that. So that's one thing I'm learning about me. And also the fact that I'm a very understanding individual. So I reach a point where my mind it's okay. Whatever it is, it's okay. Whether it hurts, whether it's cutting you into two pieces, it's okay. That's what I'm learning about me. So I think my mentality is shifting towards just letting the world be while containing myself. Just letting the world go as it goes, yet remaining with me. Because at the end of the day, the greatest loss that I'll ever experience at the moment is losing me. That's the greatest loss. And I do not want to put myself in a position where I get to see that happening. So that's what I'm learning, and it's very important for people to understand that whenever I engage in certain things or when I don't engage in certain tasks, is a matter of me understanding where I'm at with my life at the moment. So if I don't give myself out there, you need to understand that there's a reason for that. If I give myself out there, there's also a reason for that. As you said, I'm a person with intentions. I don't just work. I don't just do things. I'm intentional about what I do.
Yeah.
And when I get into something, resilience follows me.
Yeah.
So that's me. In simple terms, I'm not a very complicated individual.
You're not.
I don't love complicating myself, but
Yeah.
listening to you, I think there's a lot of things that I have to learn myself too.
Yeah.
I think that's also why I followed you. You speak sense in a lot of things. I think you're going to form part of my next coming book.
Making me shy.
No, you are, because on this coming project is Mountains and Paths.
Yeah.
So it's where I say, this is life. It's just life. It's one big mountain, probably Kilimanjaro or Mount Everest, whatever it could be. And then you're facing these challenges and they pile up and then they build this mountain. Now, what's for you to do is to find paths around it. So it's mountain and paths. And listening to you, I think you need to give me a lot of insights. Now, we
Period.
need to have a lot of
I got you,
conversations.
don't worry.
We need to have a lot of conversations because I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
And as you're speaking, there's a question that I wanted to ask.
Sure.
No, please don't. It's an easy question.
it's fine.
Yeah, you were saying something about people, moving from one point to the other and containing yourself. Now, I think is one question that a lot of people, when you ask them, they struggle with. Do you think that as people, we struggle to be who we want to be because we do not find ourselves in positions where we need to give up who we are right now because who we are right now serves everything that we have?
Yes.
So do you think me, Emmanuel, as who I am right now, if I were to give up this and say, okay, I no longer want to be in this level, I want to move to the next level, would it serve me well at the current moment to give this person up and say I'm moving up and just risk everything?
I think a lot of times as people, it's very uncomfortable to let go, to go to the next step because you don't know what that looks like. So I think the biggest thing I had to learn was you will never have to let go of what you truly love to get to the next place. And if you have to let go of it, that means it's not really
Yes.
yours. And I'm not saying, sometimes you do need to let go of something to work on something to attain what you want or what you had back. But when it comes to your dreams, when it comes to the things that you want, when it comes to your aspirations, if you love it that much, if you love it that much and you want it to be for the greater good or to be the next step of your journey, you're not going to have to let it go. Instead, you're going to find things that are going to push you towards making this go to the next level, for making this to be something bigger than what it is now. And I think that's one of the biggest things. I think as people in general, not only in businesses and the things that like our dreams and aspirations, I think even with people and experiences, if you truly love something, someone, if you have a passion or something, you will not let it go.
So, okay. So if you say, no, I need to understand something. So you
Sure.
say if you truly love something or if you truly love someone, you will not let it go. However, you'll find a way to coexist with that while trying to chase something.
Not with people though. I'm
With
saying with things.
things, okay.
So with people, is your question then directed to people now?
Yeah, because at the moment is like I think the biggest cause of stress, depression, anxiety, and all that is people.
True.
Yeah. Why do I say that? I think if you were to give a particular individual whatever that they want, everything that they could ever dream of, and just isolate them and just tell them to have all that, they will be happy until you insert a certain mindset of someone. From my own experience,
Yeah.
let me put it to you this way.
Yeah.
I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
I love my own space. I prefer being alone. It is when I have to mix with people when a lot of things start happening in my mind. Because one thing I know, with people you can't control. You can't control what they say, what they do. Obviously, you might say no, you can't control people, but you can definitely control yourself. You can choose what comes in you or what you give to people. You know, so I think people are the biggest energy consumers. To a point where if you are by yourself and you are fully fulfilled with
Right.
yourself,
Yes.
you normally don't have to give out a lot of energy.
Right.
It's when you mix with people who have different characteristics, personalities, when you have to accommodate certain people.
You know what? You you can't control. It goes back to what I said. You can't control the things that people do and how people treat you, but you can control how it makes you feel. And I think as an introvert, maybe you're scared to go into those places because you don't know how they're gonna make you feel. And most times, the way people make you feel is always temporary. It's never something that stays because people change. But don't let what other people could possibly do rob you from the experiences of them. Because my greatest blessing is that I have allowed people to be who they want to be within my life. And I have the control to rather accept or reject that. And I did say I have a very emotional attachment to people. So the minute I love you, the minute I embrace you, the minute I let you into my space and you come with a form of betrayal or something that makes me feel uncomfortable, it does hit hard. And life is like that. People are like that. Some people do it not knowing, but you cannot let what people do to you rob you from experiencing the people who will not do that to you. And I think everything comes down to our past, if you think about it. How someone treats you and what they do to you comes from what they've experienced. And it's not nice because now they're punishing you for their pain, but you can't control it. You can't control it. There's
That's true.
nothing you can do that's going to ever let you have control over what that person is doing to you because of where they come from. But you can control how it makes you feel. And the best way to even control that is to really allow yourself to go through it. Like, there's nothing I can say that's gonna make it better.
That's true.
That's gonna stop the pain from being painful. That's going to stop you from the triggers and the things that you go through, because at the end of the day, you're going through it. There's nothing that I can say that's gonna make you want to experience people differently, but letting them be. Let them. Literally let them. How it affects you is solely up to you. And the best way to even go through those things that affect you is to let it affect you. Let yourself go through the things and those emotions and the things that they make you feel, and just move from it. You grow, and that's a part of your experience, and that's a part of your growth. And once you've gone through that, you learn how to handle people differently because you now met with different circumstances and whatever they come with. So you can never have control of what other people do to you, but how it makes you feel. And there's so much power in that. There is so much power in that. And one thing I know is that God does not let you carry something until it breaks you. He will never do that. So you have no control about what other people do, but how it makes you feel. So if you feel uncomfortable, trust that, oh, I'm feeling uncomfortable, so I cannot be in the space, and move from it. And then detach yourself and understand that if I ever get into a space where I feel like this again, it's not for me.
That's true.
So that's literally the best way to ever deal with people.
I think I found a method today.
I love that for you. But anyways, we're running out of time and we could go on and on and on and on. But I hope it helped. I hope I answered you. But we can
Oh
talk
yeah,
more
you
about it
did.
off camera.
It definitely. Yeah.
If you want more clarity, we can.
Well, I will need more clarity on that.
Yeah.
Because for me, every conversation is a manuscript. Yeah,
Yes.
that's how it works for me.
Oh, man, Emmanuel, God bless you.
Thank you very
God bless
much.
you. Thank you so much for coming.
Well,
And can you please pass me the book so we can show the people where can I get the book?
well, currently the book you can get it Lifestyle Bookstore. You can also get it via me as well. You can just text me on WhatsApp, I think.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll show you your number on the screen,
Okay.
your social media as well, your website. We'll attach everything on the screen for people to contact you. But thank you for my copy. I can't wait to read this. I'm
you're welcome.
probably going to learn and come speak about it here, and I'll give you the credits most likely because I also learned a lot today from our conversation. So thank you so much for coming. Please, guys, go purchase your book. Everything will be in the description on the screen. And Emmanuel, thank you so much for coming and sharing your curve before 30, giving us a little glimpse of what we have in store. Is it your phone number, your personal phone number?
No, it's not my personal business.
Your business phone number?
Yes.
Do you mind saying it to people?
068 846 0041.
Okay, and then your social media handles?
On TikTok is e.sithole author, and then Instagram is e.sithole author as well, and then Twitter as well is e.sithole author, and then what else? Facebook is just Emmanuel Sithole.
And people can check you out on www.
.emmanuelsithole.com.
Exactly. Love that for you. Thank you so much. God bless you. I can't wait to read your book, and I can't wait to see you come up with other things, and we're going to have you back and speak about more things. We'll obviously
Definitely.
keep in touch.
You'll definitely have me back
Yes.
when I decide to go outside again.
Okay, period. I guess I got you out once, so I'll get you again.
Right. No
Okay, guys,
problem.
thank you so much for watching. We hope that you learned something from this episode. Please don't forget to purchase your book. I want to give a special shout out to our sponsor today. We have a sponsored t-shirt from a brand called A No Prayer is Ever Wasted. So I will attach where you can get your shirts, and I will be wearing more of their merch. And please check out our social media as well. The team as well will post some pictures looking cute in matching t-shirts. I love it. No Prayer Ever Wasted on social media. We'll attach the Instagram handles here, and then you can also place your order. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. I hope you guys learned a lot. Happy Men's Mental Health Month. Happy Mental Health Month. Take care of your mind, your body, and your soul. And I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe at Mindful Unfoldings and click the notification button. Share with your friends. Busang Studios as well on Instagram and TikTok. And I will see you guys next time. I love a lot. Bye.